Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to each of you for being here today. Congratulations on your nomination, and congratulations to all of your family members who are here in support of you. Mr. Duva, I will start with you. I'm concerned by the attacks on religious institutions and people of faith that we have seen across our nation. It seems that there is a rise or emphasis, whether it is the Annunciation Catholic Church in Minnesota or the LDS Church in Michigan. These things have been clearly motivated by religious animus. And when I am looking at how we respond to this problem, it is my opinion that it will require engagements from a number of different divisions within DOJ. But once you're confirmed and you are leading the criminal division, how are you going to work to ensure that people of faith can practice that faith and worship and gather freely without fear of being targeted for their religious beliefs? Talk to me about your plan there and how you're going to work to hold those accountable who are responsible for the violence or those who are responsible for inciting the violence.
Thank you for the question, Senator. And I want to note for the record that I was in your hometown of Enterprise, Alabama on October 11th when I took my son, Gavin, a baseball player, to a recruiting trip for Enterprise State Community College, for which he received his first offer. So go Boll Weevils.
Go Bo Weevils. That's outstanding.
To answer your question, Senator, thank you. In terms of violence against people of faith or any institutions, that is a serious matter. We live in a time where threats and violence, social media, and then carrying those out are all too familiar. And it is going to be important for the violent crime section and the criminal division to have a strategy to deal with that. We are living with people with their phones, they say anything, and oftentimes it's vile and disgusting and attacking to people of faith. And regardless of whether it's the Catholic Church or any other church or any religion, none of it is appropriate. I have prosecuted threat cases, not against churches or people of faith, but against judges, against lawmakers, and we will go through and go about those investigations as we always have. We will identify the threat, evaluate it based on the existing statutes, and make a prosecution decision. But violence against our institution, our churches, our government, it must stop, and we must beat it back with appropriate investigations and prosecutions.
What about those on our law enforcement officers, like what we've seen happen to so many of our ICE agents across the country, particularly in Dallas? I think that is an example. We want to make sure that doesn't happen again. Talk to me about your approach there in protecting our law enforcement officers and then holding those accountable who incite violence on them.
Yes, Senator, assault on any law enforcement officer is improper, and it, regardless of how it's motivated or where it's motivated, if it's far right, far left, or whatever we're talking about, and I've prosecuted those cases. I've prosecuted drug dealers who assault DEA agents when they go in and execute a search warrant, and those same principles of those statutes apply in all cases. So that is something that the U.S. Attorney's offices take very seriously. Again, I've done those cases in the criminal division as well. Violence against law enforcement is illegal, and it will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Thank you so much. Now turning to our two judicial nominees, in the spirit of our chairman, who always has the best lines of questioning in these hearings, I wanted to prepare and have some questions that would make him proud. So my question to you, Mr. Van Hook, is can you explain how litigants establish subject matter jurisdiction in federal court?
Well, a litigant in federal court on the civil side would need to file a complaint that would set forth the cause of action that would be recognizable in federal court. Okay,
and tell me, can litigating parties waive their subject matter jurisdiction?
No.
All right. Well, Judge Crane, question for you. Current state of the Lemon Test. Can you talk a little bit about your understanding of the Lemon Test and its role historically that it's played in the Supreme Court Establishment Clause jurisprudence?
The Establishment Clause I can talk about.
All right, let's go.
There's a First Amendment right And the government cannot establish a religion. That comes in many, many forms. So you've got both an exercise right and establishment right under that First Amendment. So I've, excuse me, I've dealt with the Establishment Clause in some context, but generally speaking, the government cannot establish a religion, and we have the right to free exercise of our religion under the Constitution.
Thank you so much, Judge.